The month of February is designated as Black History Month. In the United States, it is a time to honor the important role African Americans play in the story of our country. The idea began as a week-long celebration in 1926, organized by historian Carter G. Woodson and others. It coincides with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass, a brilliant orator who escaped slavery and spent the rest of his life working to stop it, and President Abraham Lincoln, who issued the Emancipation Proclamation during the Civil War, which led to the eventual end of slavery in the U.S. Others who fought to end slavery include famous women like Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman. Woodson's idea caught on, and soon schools and communities around the country began organizing celebrations, starting history clubs, and hosting events to learn more about Black history and culture. The Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s sparked even greater interest in the many accomplishments of notable African Americans, who excelled in all areas of life despite obstacles and hardships, like scientist George Washington Carver, educator Mary McLeod Bethune, baseball great Jackie Robinson, entertainer Oprah Winfrey, and President Barack Obama. Black history is American history. Black History Month is a special time to focus on and learn more about Black culture and people of African descent who have made American life richer. How is Black History Month celebrated in your school or community?
Today you are about to meet Rosa Parks. She was a very brave woman who stood up for her rights. Rosa Parks once said, "You must never be fearful about what you are doing when it is right." Sit back and enjoy the story of Rosa Parks. What acts of love and havoc to ensue, how to go to school every day. She taught us about bravery and praying for those that wish us harm.
My name is Ruby Bridges. I became someone who helped change our country. A long time ago, some people thought that black people and white people could not be friends. In some places, black people were not allowed to live in the same neighborhoods as white people. And in some places, black children and white children could not go to the same schools. Black children and white children went to separate schools in New Orleans. The black children were not able to receive the same education as the white children. It wasn't fair. This is called segregation. In 1960, a judge ordered 4 black girls to go to 2 white elementary schools. I was sent to 1st grade in the Williams Friends Elementary School. My family went to church. We sat there and prayed to God. My mother prayed that we'd all be strong and that we all would have the courage through any trouble, that I would be a good girl and that I would hold my head up high and be a credit to my own people and to all American people. We prayed long and hard. On my first day, a large crowd of angry white people gathered outside the Friends Elementary School. The people carried signs that said they didn't want black children in a white school. People called me names. Some wanted to hurt me. The city and the state police did not help me. The President of the United States ordered federal marshals to walk with me into the school building. The marshals carried guns every day for weeks that turned into months. I experienced that kind of school day. I walked to the Friends School surrounded by marshals, wearing a clean dress and a bow in my hair, carrying my lunch pail. I walked slowly for the first few blocks. As I approached the school, I saw a crowd of people marching up and down the street. Men and women and children shouted at me. They pushed toward me. The marshals kept them from me by threatening to arrest them. I would hurry through the crowd and not say a word. Then one morning, something happened. Mrs. Henry stood by a window in her classroom, as she usually did, watching me walk toward the school. Suddenly, I stopped right in front of the mob of howling and screaming people. Mrs. Henry saw my lips moving and wondered what I could be saying. The marshals were frightened. They tried to persuade me to move along, but I wouldn't budge. I stopped talking and walked into the school. When I went into the classroom, Mrs. Henry asked me what happened. She was surprised when Ruby stopped and talked with the people in the mob. I became irritated. I didn't stop and talk with them, I said. Mrs. Henry said, Ruby, I saw your lips moving. I wasn't talking, I said. I was praying. I was praying for them. This was my prayer.
Please, God, forgive these people, because even if they say those mean things, they don't know what they're doing, so you can forgive them, just like you did those folks a long time ago, when they said terrible things about you.
Now let's listen to Cheryl recite the poem Black Child.
Hey, black child, do you know who you are, who you really are? Do you know you can be what you want to be if you try to be what you can be? Hey, black child, do you know where you are going, where you're really going? Do you know you can learn what you want to learn if you try to learn what you can learn? Hey, black child, do you know you are strong? I mean really strong. Do you know you can do what you want to do if you try to do what you can do? Hey, black child, be what you want to be. Learn what you must learn. Do what you can do, and tomorrow your nation will be what you want it to be.
Martin Luther King Jr. was an intelligent man who peacefully fought for equal rights and wanted to make sure that laws were fair for everyone. Martin Luther King gave a famous speech titled, "I Have a Dream." Please listen carefully as our fellow classmates recite parts of his speech.
Even though we face difficulties today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out its true meaning of its creator. We hold this truth to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day little children will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skins, but by the content of their character. I have a dream
that all of God's children, black and white, Jews and Protestants, will be able to hold hands.
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.